You've heard the stories about how the first black people were made when God created Adam and Eve out of the dust of the ground in the Garden of Eden. But what if there is more to the story? What if there was another race that existed before the creation of Adam and Eve? Hi guys. Today, we're going to talk about where did the first black people come from, because the Bible doesn't say anything about it. And so we have to do some deep digging in the historical records to find out who are the first black people on the planet Earth. Guys, please make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on history. Let's get into it. In order to understand where the first black people came from, we have to go back to the time period when the world was just created. If you read the book of Genesis in the Bible, you will see that on the sixth day, God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over every earth and everything that moves on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them. And God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and everything that moves on the earth." So here we see that God created two human beings, a male and a female, and he called them Adam and Eve, and they were white. Yes, according to the Bible, the first people on earth were white. But you may be wondering, why do you think that Adam and Eve were white? Well, in the Bible, it says that when Adam and Eve sinned and God cursed the serpent was cursed to crawl on its belly and eat dust all the days of its life. And this dust that the serpent was told to eat from is the same dust that God used to create Adam. In fact, the word Adam means earth or ground in Hebrew. So since Adam was made out of the dust of the ground, it only makes sense that he would be the same color as the ground, which is brown or black. Therefore, all humans before they were cursed by God were black. But then God cursed Ham, the son of Noah, and said, "Cursed be Canaan, the son of Ham. A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." Many believe that this curse is what caused the skin of Ham's descendants to become darker, which is why we have black people today. But this is not true, because if you look at the Bible, it says that Ham was cursed to become a servant of servants, but it never said that his skin color would change. And also, if you look at the Bible again, it says that Noah cursed Canaan, not Ham. So technically, Noah didn't curse Ham. He cursed Canaan because he saw that Canaan was mocking him when he was drunk. So then, who are the first black people? Where did they come from? Well, let's go back in time to the year 2000 BC. In Ethiopia, the civilization of Kush was one of the oldest in the world. It was located in the region of Nubia, which is now part of modern-day Sudan and Ethiopia. The Kushite Empire was known for its wealth and power. The Kushite kings controlled the trade routes that connected Egypt with the rest of Africa, and they amassed great wealth from taxing the goods that were traded along these routes. The Kushite kings were also very powerful. They had a strong military, and they were able to conquer Egypt and rule over it for several years. One of the most famous Kushite kings was Pianki, who conquered Egypt in 747 BC and ruled over it for 16 years. The Kushite Empire had a rich culture. The Kushites were known for their art, architecture, and literature. They built great pyramids and temples, and they produced works of art that are still admired today. The Kushites were also known for their wisdom and learning. They had a system of writing, and they kept detailed records of their history. The Kushites believed that their kings were divine, and they worshipped them as gods. The Kushites had a polytheistic religion, meaning that they believed in many gods. They worshipped the supreme god, as well as a number of lesser gods and goddesses. The Kushites also believed in an afterlife, and they mummified their dead, pharaohs, in order to preserve their bodies for the journey to the afterlife. The Kush Empire lasted for several centuries, but eventually it was conquered by the Assyrians in 663 BC. However, the Kush Empire would rise again, and the Kushites would continue to thrive in Nubia for centuries to come. Even though the Kush Empire is long gone, its legacy lives on in the people of Nubia, who are still living in the region today. The Nubian people are the descendants of the Kushites, and they have preserved much of their culture and traditions. The Nubian people are known for their unique lifestyle and their distinctive appearance. They traditionally wear white robes and headdresses, and they have a rich oral tradition that has been passed down from generation to generation. The Nubian people are also known for their hospitality and their warmth. They are famous for their hospitality, and they are known for their ability to make everyone feel welcome. Today, the Nubian people are facing a number of challenges, such as poverty and war. However, they are a resilient people, and they are working hard to preserve their culture and traditions. The Nubian people are an important part of African history, and they have made significant contributions to the continent. Their legacy as one of the oldest civilizations in Africa continues to inspire people around the world. So yes, the Kushites were black people, and they were the first black people mentioned in the Bible when God cursed Ham and said that his descendants would be cursed to be servants of servants. He was talking about the Kushite people because they were the only black people that existed in those days. But even though they were cursed to be servants of servants, it doesn't mean that they were doomed to be slaves forever, because later on in the Bible, it says that one of Ham's descendants, Shem, would become a great leader, and his descendants would become a great nation. This is talking about the Kushite Empire, because they were led by great kings, and they became a great and powerful empire. So yes, the Kushites were the first black people mentioned in the Bible, but there were other black people before them. When you dig deep enough into the historical records, you will find that there were many black people who existed before the biblical account of creation. One of these people was Ham, the father of Canaan, who was cursed by Noah to be a servant of servants. But this curse was later reversed by God when he said that Shem, one of Ham's descendants, would become a great leader and his descendants would become a great nation. This is referring to the Kushi Empire, which was founded by Nimrod, the grandson of Ham. So yes, the Kushi Empire was the first black empire mentioned in the Bible, but it wasn't the first black empire to exist, because if you look at Egyptian history, you will see that the 6th dynasty, which was ruled by black pharaohs, existed long before the Kushite Empire. In fact, the 6th dynasty was the first dynasty to have a black pharaoh as its ruler. And this pharaoh was named Teti. He was the founder of the dynasty, and he reigned for 19 years. After him, his son, Unas, took the throne, and he reigned for 23 years. After Unas, his son, Teti, took the throne, and he reigned for 8 years. And finally, Pepi II, who was the last pharaoh of the 6th dynasty, took the throne, and he reigned for 45 years. So you can see that the 6th dynasty was ruled by black pharaohs, and they reigned for a total of 95 years. And during their reign, they built great pyramids and temples, and they amassed great wealth for Egypt. However, the 6th dynasty was overthrown by the 7th dynasty, which was ruled by white pharaohs. And this marked the end of the Old Kingdom period in Egypt. Guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something new. Please make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on history. Thank you for watching.